All right, we are live on the Coach Eli Television Network, YouTube, Facebook, and D Live. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here today. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. But like I always say at the beginning of these streams, there's lots of great replay value if you're watching this live stream as a replay down the road. So if you missed the live, please stick around for this because today I'm going to be sharing some information unlike anything you've seen regarding the modern dating world and what women really think of overly nice men and why women reject overly nice men. We'll get more into that in just a little bit. But before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it looks like it absolutely has. Let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that things are rolling smoothly. And it is. Facebook seems to be rolling well on the back end. And so is the live. Let me quickly check out the front end and we'll get right to it. Facebook. Yeah.
Live.
Top of the
quickly
newsfeed.
check out the front end and we'll get right.
I love this background today. I wonder what you folks think about this background. Great background. Facebook's working well on the front end and D Live on the front end. D Live.
This background. Great background. Facebook's working well on the front end and D Live on the front end. D Live.
I just had to hear myself say that again. Chanting my D Live song that I just made up on the fly. You have to bring your own personality into being a creator, folks. That's what makes you unique, is what I'm trying to say. That's what makes you unique and makes you stand out. All right. One more thing before we get down to business here. An actual piece of business. My sponsor, my brand, the Coach Eli brand, is brought to you by my good longtime friend, Troy Brewer. I've known him for over 10 years, and he's been in business for over 15 years. He is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network, and he is a branding and marketing expert. So for those of you folks out here on social media, YouTube, Facebook, D Live, if you're looking to take your brand to the next level and get more exposure, get more views, get more likes, subscribers, just be known, Troy is the man that can help you get there better than anyone. He's very reasonably priced. Even his low-end packages get you a lot more than everyone else's low-end packages. And he does have some higher-end packages as well, but the low-end entry-level package will suit most people. So, I see what you said, Queen. So, if you'd like more information about Troy, just go to discovercommunitynetwork.com. The link is below the description of the Facebook or within the Facebook posting. It's also in the description section of YouTube. If you're on D Live, just come on over to YouTube at youtube.com/lifecoacheli. That's youtube.com/lifecoacheli. And you can find all the information there in the description section. I'm not able to put much information out on D Live. D Live's a very basic platform for just live streaming. And until I figure out a better way to do it on D Live, come on over to YouTube. And that's where most of the people are chatting anyway. So with that being said, Troy and the Discover Community Network, thank you for your continued sponsorship and patronage of my brand. Lots of love from Coach Eli and the Coach Eli clan. All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. I have a real doozy for you today. Today is going to be a great show. We're probably going to be here for a couple of hours, and I may even do a part 2, 3, and 4 to this show. Because I'm going to be going over a Reddit posting that was posted by a 24-year-old woman, a young woman, that stated, something similar to my topic here, which I'll read right now. The topic of this stream is why women reject overly nice men and do nice guys actually finish last. One more time. Why women reject overly nice men and do nice guys actually finish last. before I share my thoughts, before I get to the Reddit posting, let me check out Facebook and see if anyone's there. We have one person on Facebook. If you'd like to chat in the chat, I will be periodically checking in on the Facebook side of things every 10 minutes or so. So please, if you do comment, stick around so I can respond to you. If not, just come back later and watch the replay on Facebook. Nothing happening over on D Live. On YouTube, we have Queen Helen Casey in the house. The Queen is here, and you're good. Thank you, Queen. And she says, furthermore, I am tired of this chat freezing up. It's not freezing up for me, Queen. It could be your device. It could be your internet connection. I don't know what to tell you, Queen. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, things happen. It's technology. Maybe you need to upgrade your equipment. I just went through a major upgrade myself, and I know it's quite costly, but maybe we'll figure out a way to get you a nice upgrade soon so you're not dealing with freezing equipment. All right, so I'm not going to talk about why women reject overly nice men right now in my prelude. But what I will say, or what I will respond to and give my thoughts briefly before I get to the Reddit posting, is regarding, do nice guys actually finish last? Oh, and one more thing. The thumbnail you clicked on to view this stream or live stream replay says why women are turned off by overly nice men. That's what we're going to be talking about. Why women are turned off by overly nice men. But for right now, we're going to talk about, do nice guys actually finish last? I've shared my thoughts about this many times. And today I'm going to be a little bit more detailed about it and actually explain what it means. And what is the actual answer to the question, do nice guys actually finish last? Honestly, in my opinion, yes, I do consider myself to be a strong, confident, alpha male type of guy. I'm not a beta male at all. I have a lot of knowledge regarding modern day female nature. And I was raised right with morals, values, and ethics. And my father and mother, more so my father in this aspect, raised me to be a good, strong man, but a respectful man, right? So do nice guys actually finish last? In my opinion, no, absolutely not. It's not about nice guys finishing last. Because here's the thing. If you're an asshole or a jerk or an arrogant, pompous ass to women, doesn't matter how good looking you are, how much money you make, how many resources you have, doesn't matter the type of car you drive, if you have a big house or whatever, right? If you're not a nice guy, then they're going to eliminate you for being a jerk. Now, some women might have a fetish of being with controlling type of men because it turns them on sexually. If you have a certain type of fetish regarding that, then that's completely different. I'm talking about the average everyday man and the average everyday woman, what attracts them to each other in a relationship in the modern world. So do nice guys actually finish last? No. You want to be a nice guy, but I like to refer to it more as being a good guy, okay? So why do I like to call myself a good guy instead of a nice guy when the truth of the matter is I'm actually a nice guy, and I am a nice guy to women, right? And you should be a nice guy to women, guys. But, like the title states, why women reject overly nice men, there's a difference between being nice and overly nice. Okay? There's a difference between being nice and being a good man and being respectful to her and respecting her, but respecting her at the same level that she respects you. Respect is a mutual thing, right? Now, if you meet a woman or you're dating a woman for a while and she doesn't respect you at the level you feel you deserve to be respected, or she doesn't respect you at all, does that mean you treat her the same way she treats you? Does that mean you disrespect her? No. As a good, strong, good man, nice guy, however you want to say it, that's where you want to say, hey, look, this isn't working for me. You know, I'm a laid back, down to earth guy, and I like to live a drama-free life. You're bringing too much drama into my life. I take you out, show you a good time, and you just keep on disrespecting me, and I'm not going to put up with that. So I'm going to let you go. It's nice knowing you. Best of luck to you. Take care, right? So it's not about, completely always matching and mirroring the woman's behavior if you're a guy. A lot of times you do. If things are going well, you want to match and mirror her behavior regarding the pace on how the relationship is moving, right? So if she's showing you a certain level of interest and it's good, you don't want to show her more interest than she's showing you. And even you don't even want to show her the same exact level of interest. You want to show her slightly less interest than she's showing you. Why? Because that keeps her interested. That keeps her wondering. That makes her feel like, she hasn't locked you down or she doesn't have control over you. That makes her feel like you're an independent guy just trying to get to know her, for the right reasons, which is what I'm trying to say. No, it's not my phone, says Queen. Okay. Could be your connection, Queen. It could be anything. Not a big deal. It happens. Plus, if your phone is pretty full, Queen, and there's not enough free memory to store temporary files, that could be affecting you as well. I always keep a lot of free space on any device, whether it's a mobile device, laptop, desktop. I always keep at least 25 to 30% of the memory free, because that way files can move around and it just runs smoother that way. So that may be the issue. Who knows? But I'm sure you'll figure it out. So again, okay, it's not about not being a nice guy. You want to be a nice guy, but you don't want to think of yourself as a nice guy. You want to think of yourself as a good guy that's going to be respectful to his lady in the same ways that she respects him, right? It's a two-way street, right? And it's not about never giving her a compliment or giving her flowers. It's just how often do you do it, right? And at what place does this come from, right? Do you first and foremost respect yourself and love yourself before you put yourself out there to try and attract a woman and be with a woman in a relationship? Because a woman's going to look for that. Another thing that I've said, and understand this, guys, and I think women understand this more so than guys, because if you don't do this, guys, then women are automatically turned off, whether they understand it or not. Women are biologically programmed to be attracted to a certain type of guy, a strong, confident, independent guy that is not going to make his woman his purpose. Women do not want you to make them your purpose. Because a woman is not your purpose. Your purpose as a man is to go out there and do you. Typically has to do with the type of work you do. Like, I'm a life coach. I love helping people get a better grip on their life so that way they can accomplish whatever it is that their hearts desire, right? That's my purpose. I honestly enjoy this. I love what I do. I love coming out here on YouTube and Facebook and D Live and anywhere else I put out content. I love engaging the people. That is my purpose, right? And women are attracted to a man primarily based on his purpose. Now, granted, there has to be physical attraction first. I've talked about it in the past, but let's say the physical attraction is there, right? Does that mean it's going to automatically work out? No, you can still blow it. And one of the quickest ways to blow it is making the woman your purpose and not making your purpose what it actually is, which is what defines you as a man, what you enjoy doing for work, what you enjoy doing for fun. Maybe it's your family. That's your purpose. Your purpose is what attracts a woman to you. That's what's attractive to a woman. And again, guys, if you make the woman your purpose, she's going to pick that up just like that, because women are all naturally, biologically very intuitive. And most men, unfortunately, are not biologically intuitive. Some of us pick up intuition skills, like myself. I am very intuitive. I've always been very intuitive. Why? Because my mother raised me very well and never let me get away with anything. Same with my father. But when I was growing up, my father would work. It was a traditional marriage. My father would go to work, and my mother would take care of my brother and I. So we picked up more of her traits. So from my mother, I got her intuition, which allows me to pick things up, even when I'm getting to know women nowadays. And it allows me to make a quicker decision on whether this woman's the right fit or not. So that way I don't waste too much time getting to know the wrong woman, and I can leave that space open for the right woman. Women are extremely intuitive, and they will pick up on the slightest insecurities. They will pick up on, if you're weak, needy, desperate, or insecure, women will pick up on that. And if you are overly nice, a woman is going to perceive you as weak, needy, desperate, and insecure. And how attractive is that to a woman? What woman wants to be with a man that perceives that man to be weaker than her? And I'm not saying that women are weak. Women have been empowered, and women are liberated, and they're independent in this modern world. Women are stronger. But despite all of that, women still want a strong man that can at least keep up with them, right? That's what women say. Oh, this guy can't keep up with me, right? When a woman says that, what she's saying is that she perceives you to be weaker than her. So why would she want to date a man that's weaker than her? That's the bottom line. Kelvin Clymer, how you doing, brother? It's been a while. Welcome to the show. Hey, how's it going over here? Oh, it's been a while since I've checked in. Well, that's cool that you're here, bro. You're still in the private chat behind the scenes. Queen Helen Case says, hello, Kelvin. Long time no see. Yeah, all well, Queen. That's great to hear, Kelvin. Kelvin, everything is peachy, Queen says. Good to hear. Let's see, Queen. I know I had a notification regarding Governor Cuomo. They're putting a lot of pressure on him to resign. Or I think they're going to be going down this impeachment route if he doesn't. That Governor Cuomo is a real stubborn guy. Like, I don't think that guy is going to resign. I think they're going to have to impeach him, and I think he will be impeached. There's no doubt in my mind. He's going to try to ride this wave as long as possible, but that's for another show, another time, or one of your videos. All right, folks, so here's how today's going to go. I'm going to switch on over to the browser source in a second and, read what this woman posted. And there are 275 comments. Now, I read a bunch of them, but I didn't have time to read all of them. But I'm thinking about doing maybe 2 or 3 or even 4 parts if it takes to go through all of these comments. Today, I'm gonna cap the show at 2 hours, and I'm assuming I'll get through at least 75 of the comments. And I'll see how it goes. And if you folks want me to go through all of these once this show ends, I will do a part 2, 3, and 4 on this, because this is where you're going to see how a bunch of women feel about this. And I don't want to leave anything out. I want you guys to actually hear directly and see on the screen directly how women feel about this. So maybe some of you guys out there, or pretty much all you beta males out there, can understand what's turning off a woman, and why are women not giving you the chance. And if they're giving you a chance, they're using you and dumping you when something better comes along. It's because you're being overly nice. So let's go and switch on over to the browser source. And let's get started here. But first, let me check out Facebook. And there's nobody over on Facebook. Let me check out DLive. DLive is clear. And we're good on YouTube, except Kelvin Clymer said, I just got some work, so I had a lot to think about recently. That's cool, bro. If you care to share any of it, if it's not too personal, we would love to know. I'd be happy to give you my advice. I keep getting fake Facebook friend requests. I don't connect with anyone that I don't personally know. That way you never have issues from spam accounts just trying to get all your friends' only content. Nice try to the trolls, right? All right. What is it about overly nice men that turn us off? This is written by a 24-year-old female. I, 24F female, have found that when I talk to guys who are really over the top nice, aka they constantly compliment you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through all this without laughing. They act like you can do no wrong. Yeah, women are perfect creatures, all perfect little angels, right? They constantly praise you, etc. I get so turned off, and it almost makes me angry. I used to be like that. I remember my second girlfriend that I was dating when we were in our 20s. And there was one point she had told me, I was so nice to her. This is before I had my wake-up call in my later 20s. I was still putting women on a pedestal. That's how it was with my high school sweetheart. In my next relationship, I put her on a pedestal. I did everything for her, right? I complimented her all the time. I did all the things that this woman's saying here. And you know what I remember, because I have a great memory. I remember what my girlfriend at the time told me. She goes, you're irritating the shit out of me. Wow. And I couldn't figure out why I was irritating her, but now I do. It was the fact that I was being overly nice and overly compliant and putting her on a pedestal, right? And she basically was losing faith in my masculine core. She was losing trust in my masculine core. And when a woman loses trust in your masculine core, then she doesn't feel safe and comfortable, and she feels annoyed. She feels like she just wants to get rid of you or just go away. But because she's been with you so long, she's trying to tell you as politely as possible that, dude, you're not acting like a man. You're acting like a woman or worse, right? Like I was talking to this guy and we had loads in common, but he became so over the top nice and I couldn't say something without him complimenting me or constantly praising me. It was probably a beta male that was so enamored that a beautiful woman like you, man, gave him the time of day. Reminds me of my second girlfriend. She was, man, she was beautiful. The intimacy was great. Like, oh man, I was enamored. He has very little relationship experience. Yeah, man, just like I did. I agree. I get this. And I was talking to my friends about this, and they all said this would turn them off too. Of course, this will turn off any woman, no matter how nice the woman is, right? But I can't really figure out why. Well, why? I'll tell you why, ma'am. The reason is partially, but primarily, because you ladies have been liberated nowadays, like I keep talking about. It all boils down to this. You ladies have become independent, and you've become stronger than most men out there. And these guys are intimidated by you, right? So they think that if they're really overly nice to you, nicer than any other guy out there, you're going to give them the time of day and they're going to beat out the competition. That's why they're doing that. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat for a second. Allergy season's still here. And it's also because They lack self-respect. They lack self-love. Maybe it stems back to, their childhood. They didn't receive love from their parents, so they're seeking validation from you. So when they overly compliment you, they're trying to get a reaction from you to validate that you want them, right? And what they're saying is working, right? But validation-seeking behavior is feminine energy. And it's funny because nowadays in the modern world that women have been empowered, a lot of women don't even seek validation anymore. They just won't give you the time of day if you're not a man, if you're not man enough, right? And you don't get it, right? I don't exactly want a guy to treat me like shit. No, we get it, man. You want a well-balanced man. You want a good guy that's going to be respectful, but also respect himself first and not treat you any different than he would treat his guy friends or anyone else just because you're a sexy woman. And in theory, a guy who compliments you all the time sounds great, but it just annoys me. Anyone else feel the same? Well, ma'am, it's actually not great. And it's basically showing that the guy has an underlying issue that's unresolved, typically stemming back to the way the guy was raised. One of the things that you ladies and guys need to do is ask about each other's upbringing, including were both of your parents in the picture? Are both your parents still around? Were they happily married? I get to the point and I ask women about their family because the way they were raised is one of the best ways to figure out if it's even worthy of getting to know her. Because a woman that was raised with both a mother and a father that says, I had a great upbringing with both my parents and I love my parents, they're still around to this day, or one of them passed away, but I'm still close with the other. You want to hear how they're going to respond to that. And the way they respond to that is going to basically it's basically a key in the type of personality she has, whether it's a healthy type of, personality or not, right? And you want to find out as soon as possible because even if she came from a broken household or the guy came from a broken household, if it's a woman trying to find that out about the guy, okay, a lot of times people can put up a front for 2 to 3 months or even longer before their true colors come out. So you want to find out about their upbringing, which will basically, tell the story about who they really are and what their personality is like. Now, does that mean that everyone coming from a broken household can't turn things around? No, some people can. But listen to the response. Some people might say, some guys and gals might say, well, I came from a pretty messed up household. My father was this, my mother was this, they divorced. But I haven't let it get to me. I've really worked on myself and, I'm a much better person. And, I'm in a good place. If that's the case, sure. You proceed forward by giving them the benefit of the doubt and proceeding with caution. But primarily, one of the best things to look at is the guy and the gal's relationship with their parents and their upbringing. That says a lot about their character. All right, let's go down to the comment section here. We're at 29 minutes. I'm going to take a break at about 45 minutes and then come back and continue. Queen, I do have a fan on. She says, Eli, put the fan on. That's the only way to stop sneezing. Well, I'm not sneezing, Queen. I have allergies, and I have some, mucus. Sometimes it affects my nostrils, and the mucus comes down as it's clearing up, and it goes down to your throat. That's what happens. And I have my allergy medication and all that, but, it just takes time. And when the allergy season is like this year, where there's a high pollen count, one of the highest in history, it's just going to affect me, and I have to deal with it as best as possible until the season passes. That's the way to do it. But thank you for the advice. I appreciate that. All right, so let's get to the comments here. I think, honestly, exaggerated niceness can get in the way when you're trying to get to know someone. It's fake. It's not real. It's a guy that's trying to overcompensate something he's lacking and the woman's picking up on it. It's unattractive. If someone constantly compliments me, never disagrees with me outright, always puts my needs over theirs, you don't really get to know him. Right. That's basically a guy being a robot. I mean, that's a guy being a robot trying to be exactly what he thinks you want him to be or what he thinks you want. He's not being himself. You hit the nail on the head, man. From experience, it honestly made me straight up anxious on the long run, or you meant in the long run, right? Because I couldn't tell what he wanted and liked because, man, you ladies are probably young, and younger guys don't have the experience that us guys in our 40s and 50s have, right? Or even in our 30s, right? But he probably came from a broken household, and even if he didn't, he hasn't figured out, what it takes to be a man yet. And a lot of guys nowadays haven't figured out, women's lib, women's empowerment, women being independent. They haven't figured out. You ladies are different nowadays than you've been in the past. Some of these guys are used to, dealing with women that were from the 50s. Like, they're used to probably dealing with women like their mother is, right? So you're dealing with all of that. So I get it. See, this whole modern world of dating and this shift from women being housewives to, being worker bees now, let's just put it that way, which is cool, right? Being liberated, being independent, right? From being housewives to being independent, this is a brand new shift that we're all experiencing and learning as we go. I think within 50 to 100 years, it's going to be the common thing unless somehow it flips around. And like I've been saying, the only way it would ever flip around is if the beta males stopped being beta males and took away the endless amount of options that ladies have to pretty much get away with anything they want to get away with today, especially in the dating world, and having unlimited options, right? I agree with this. My ex behaved this way and he turned out to be a passive-aggressive, emotionally abusive, nice guy. Well, the thing is, he probably got upset because he was thinking, I'm so nice to her, why won't she be nice to me in return? But he's not understanding. It's one thing to be a nice guy or a good guy and treat your woman right, but not overdo it to the point of where every step she takes, oh, God, you walk so beautifully. Oh, you have beautiful eyes. Oh, that's so beautiful. I mean, you just got to be cool with your lady. You got to be yourself, right? He also mirrored everything I liked, wanted, and it made me wonder as well if he was ever being genuine. Well, I think these nice guys, they really like the woman, but I think they really like the woman because she's attractive and physically beautiful. A lot of these guys that are inexperienced, especially the young ones growing up, if you're a reasonably decent looking woman, reasonably attractive woman, they're going to be enamored by that. And that's going to basically, just completely, make them come to you like a sick puppy dog. Because they haven't been taught how to be a man. They haven't been taught that. And that partially has to do with their childhood, but also because, younger guys in their teens and 20s, some of them figure it out at a young age, but most of them don't. That's why a lot of you ladies date older men nowadays, because we're experienced and we know what we're doing and we've been through all this already, right? And ladies mature faster than men. So, that's what you're dealing with. One more reply. Sounds like he was a narcissist. I'm hesitant to use that term because it's thrown around so commonly, but he could have been. Who knows? That doesn't mean the guy was a narcissist. It just means that he's inexperienced with women. And maybe he did come from a good household. Maybe his mother raised him like my mother raised me, to be nice to everyone and be extremely nice to people, no matter how they treat you, right? So he's treating women the same way. It's not about being nice to your woman or not being nice to your woman. It's about balancing it out. Like, give her a compliment every now and then. Oh, babe, that's cool, right? It's the way you say it, too. You got some swag, right? Babe, that's so cool. I'm so proud of you, right? Women don't mind a compliment when it's called for, as long as it's authentic and genuine, right? If you continuously say, oh, I love your hair, I love your eyes, and this and that, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Like, if you're just sitting there talking with her on the first date and you're agreeing with everything and you're not bringing anything into the conversation, that's another thing. I'm just glad I figured it out in less than 6 months. That's too long. I can help you ladies and guys figure this out faster. And everything fell apart. I was only sad for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to dump him anyway because he was a terrible partner. Okay? I've been mad to that. It makes sense. As a straight man, I can say I feel the same way, not just when women do this, but even other guys. It is just generally a social turnoff. I used to not be bothered by women being overly complimentary to me in my younger days, but now, in the modern world with the way things are, a woman that's overly complimentary is lacking something. Basically, nowadays, because women are liberated, us guys expect them to have their own stuff, their own resources, a home or a place to live, a car, make their own money, right? And if a woman nowadays is too overly complimentary as well, she's lacking in something and she's trying to make up for it before telling you, okay, I don't work, I live with my family, I don't drive, I don't have this, right? But I think you're a really nice guy, you're cute, you got your act together, I really would love to be with you, you're so amazing, right? I've had women approach me like that. It's a big turnoff. It works both ways, but most of the time it happens to women from men. Compliments are great when they're genuine and sprinkled in. If you're pushing, it feels fake and like you're buttering me up to hide some flaw of yours. I just said the same thing in different words. I'm going to give this chick that posted that a big round of applause. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, so far I don't disagree with any of these women in here. Call me Jess, I guess, is this one. This needs to be the top answer. Oh, ma'am, come on. Come on, ma'am. Being overly nice comes across as fake. If you're being fake, it means you have a different motive than you're letting on. Typically, it's because you ladies are very beautiful, and the particular guy that's doing that to you at that time is enamored by your looks and just wants to get in your pants. Or maybe he does want to date you, but the bottom line is he wants to be with you because you're extremely attractive, right? And there's more to a woman than just her looks. But don't people say fake it until you make it? Oh, come on. Not in this situation. Not when it comes to dating. They're talking about when you're starting your own business and stuff, right? But I don't really believe it. I don't really believe the fake it until you make it thing anyway. I feel like you put yourself out there and do the best you can as you're learning more about what you're doing. And if you make mistakes, apologize to your audience and then continue. And you're going to keep getting better. That only works if people don't think you're being fake in the first place. Good point. If you're pushing It feels fake and like you're buttering me up to hide some flaw of yours, or doing it and expecting something in return. Yeah, they want what's between your legs, ma'am. That's what they want. And they also want the validation of walking around a sexy woman, which validation-seeking behavior, again, is not masculine energy. It's feminine energy. And even women nowadays, it's funny, like these beta males nowadays, they seek more validation from women than women seek from men. Women still seek validation to a certain extent. That's a natural biological thing. But nowadays, you have these thirsty beta males that seek more validation than women do. Yes, exactly, she says. 2 more replies. I feel like the compliment it at my gender, that's a typo, and me giving them attention, not me specifically. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to skip that. I always thought women liked being complimented growing up. Women still like compliments to this day, but they want authentic compliments, and they need to be natural. And you don't sit there and force compliments just because you don't know what else to say, or you're thinking that as a guy that's going to make you stand out because you're a nicer guy than every other guy that's approached her, right? Apparently some don't. Nope, I just answered it. All women and men like compliments. It's just how you approach it. Is it genuine, or are you just saying it because you're trying to lock the person down, or you're so enamored by them you want to make sure that they pick you over everyone else? And that's your way of standing out. At least that's what you think is going to make you stand out, but that's the way that's going to get you, that's going to get you rejected. I always figured someone's girlfriend would like hearing that their hair looks pretty or that their nails look nice when they get them done again. I pay attention to detail really well. Well, sure. If you're dating someone and they do their nails, and you see your girl for the first time since she did her nails, you can say, "Hey, babe, your nails look great. Where did you get them done?" Right? Be confident about them. Don't be like, "Hey, your nails look so pretty," right? Don't say, "Hey, babe, your nails look great. Wow. Where'd you get them done?" And make a conversation out of it. You're complimenting her, but you're curious to also know where she gets her nails done. I bet that's not cheap, babe, huh? No, babe, it's not. So I really hope you like it, babe. You see, now you flip it on her. Now she's seeking your validation. I hope you like it, babe. It's not cheap, right? She might say, "I did that for you," right? She did it for herself. But it's okay when women say, "Okay, we did that, for you," because it's okay for them to seek validation. And to a certain extent, every now and then, there's nothing wrong with a guy doing something to make his woman happy. It's just how often you do it, and is it genuine, or is it just to try to lock the woman down or get something else, right? I pay attention to detail really well. I guess that can be a bad thing here. No, detail is great. The more you pay attention and the more you figure things out sooner, the less time you're going to waste on the wrong people and leave that space open to focus on the right people. You're not understanding. We like compliments, but when they're genuine and meant, I said the same thing. This woman keeps commenting in here. This is great. Not just to gas us up and manipulate us. Right. And why do they want to manipulate you, ma'am? Because they want what's between your legs. And you're the hottest woman that's ever given them the time of day. These guys are devaluing themselves right in front of your face, and they wonder why you're not attracted to them or interested in them, right? When there's an ulterior motive, we can tell. Absolutely. That's why, if you're a guy, you got to think about the fact that women are going to size you up. They're going to look at every little move you make, every breath you take. They're going to read your body language. They're going to know if something is off, right? And if something is off, the legs are going to close. You want the legs to open up and stay open? Just be you. Don't try to force anything. Just be cool. Yeah, babe. Babe, you look great today. Damn. Babe, let me give you a kiss, right? And then you go, I'm going to give you a kiss, babe, right? Be confident. Be cool about it. Be authentic about it. Give me just 1 second. Wow. Wow, okay. I may do a show on this at some point. I actually connected with a new dating app, and I'm getting a lot of connections out there and actually having some really good conversations, better than Match. But I'm going to hold off on that. I may end up doing that later this week or next weekend, or next week, and share more because I want to give myself a little more time, have some experiences from this app before I do it too. Let's see, we are at 45 minutes. So let me do this. So I don't want to go too long in between breaks so I can rest my voice enough. Whoops, I went way too far down. It's really hard to see this. Okay, there we go. Where are we? All right, we're going to leave off there when we get back. Let me switch on over to full screen and check out Facebook and D Live real quick. Nothing happening on Facebook or D Live. And on YouTube, hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing, bro? I just shared this stream out. Hey, Holly, hopeful and blessed, channel member and moderator. Hi, Eli, and everyone. Wanted to pop in and say hi for a few minutes while I have time. Yeah, is everything going okay with you, Holly? Let me know. You can type in the chat. I'm going to step away for a quick break here and then get right back to it and continue. It's going to take me a while to get through all this. I may make a little series of this all week. This is interesting. As a matter of fact, I may even do another late night show on this. I may do 2 shows a day till I get through all 200 plus these comments because this is important stuff. I really want guys and gals, but in this case more so guys, to really understand why you're getting eliminated by women. And you're like, I'm such a nice guy to her. I was so nice to her. Why did she eliminate me? You guys just don't get it. That's why I'm going to go through this whole thing. So let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Let me see here. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't want to play that and play it in a while. All right, folks. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a short break, and we're going to continue with the Reddit article when we return. And we're talking about overly nice guys and how that turns off women. So stick around. We'll be right have an update for you folks here at the beginning of this segment. Wow. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stick around, folks. I've got a story to share at the beginning. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yes. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on the Coach Eli Television Network, YouTube, Facebook, and D Live. Glad you can all join me here today. Today we're discussing why women reject overly nice men, and do nice guys actually finish last? One more time, why women reject overly nice men, and do nice guys actually finish last? If you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay. I shared a prelude that I think you'll be happy to hear, Holly, regarding, is being a nice guy actually a bad thing? Stick around for a few minutes longer if you can, and I'll get to what you put in the chat there. And then I'm going to share a communication I just had with a woman from this new dating app I've been using. While I was on break, it happened pretty quick, but I got to the point. I'm gonna read this to you. It's interesting. Oh my God. Wow. I just can't believe it. I really can't believe it. Holly says, my last nice guy didn't finish last for about 24 years now. And then she furthermore says, it actually attracted me how nice he was when we first met. Is he still nice to you? I've talked to your husband. He seems like a good guy. But let me ask you this, Holly. Is he overly nice, overly complimentary, or is he just authentically nice? And do you still value and respect him being a nice guy? Nothing wrong with being a nice guy. The reason why we don't say nice guy anymore is because that's a stigma of nice guys finishing last. Typically, a guy referred to nowadays as a nice guy is overly complimentary, and that turns women off, like we've been discussing here today. Calvin Clymer's back. Welcome back. Now, guys and gals, wow. I'm going to share this real quick before I get back to this topic, because you know how I've been sharing? I've come across a lot of reborn Christians and reborn virgins. And we're about to chalk up number 5. These women are going to be very, very lonely. So let me read what happened here. Today at 10:10 a.m. Hi, Eli. Nice crop top. You look fun. She's talking about my picture where I have my shirt lifted up a little bit to show my stomach as a joke. I'm going to refer to her as ma'am and not read her name. LOL. Thanks, ma'am. It is great to connect with you. I am lots of fun. You seem to like the outdoors. Are you a hiker? Also, what are you seeking out here on this app? I do like the outdoors. Not the biggest fan of camping, but I could be convinced. Why sleep on the ground when you can have a bed and a shower? To be direct, I'm looking for a husband, a godly man that is fun and wants a family. Anytime a woman says godly or mentions God, there's like a 90% chance she's a reborn Christian. Or maybe she's still a virgin in her 40s. This woman is 41 years old, and she's pretty cute. If that's not your jam, that's okay, but I'm too old to be less than honest. What are you looking for? I wrote, see, I get to the point here. I don't waste time. The same exact thing. I just have one question to ask you quick. Are you a reborn Christian and waiting for marriage before having intimate relations? I only ask because I've encountered many women like this lately, and that doesn't work for me. She's laughing, ha, ha, ha. And I wrote, I do want a family. She goes, yup, you found another one waiting for sex till marriage. I wrote, seriously, question mark? She wrote, totally appreciate you asking and being upfront. Yup, I'm glad you're finding others that stand true to the Bible. Ha, I'm not the only one out there, but I guess I'm not what you're looking for. Wow. I mean, look, to each its own, right? There are men and women out there that want to wait for marriage, even if they've already been intimate with somebody in the past. If that's what you want, I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm here to help people get what they want. But these women need to put on their profile that note, I'm looking for a godly man that is a reborn Christian waiting for intimacy until marriage. They need to be upfront about it. But none of them are, because they know they'll get zero attention, right? And like this woman's trying to win me over with her great personality. I don't care how great the personality is. If I'm not allowed to go to the promised land until I put a ring on you and then get married to you, then I'm not, no way. Now, to those of you out there, men or women, that want to conform to that and date someone and have no intimacy, that's on you, but it doesn't work for me. Holly Hopeland Bless says, authentically nice, of course. I wouldn't be around still, Eli. Don't be silly. Well, come on. You're messing with me, Holly. I'm going to mess with you in return. It's great to have you back. We've missed you the last few days. Furthermore, Holly says, nothing wrong with a Christian, Eli. I don't judge people due to religion. I don't either, Holly, but I'm not going to be with a woman that is going to not want intimacy until marriage. That's the best part about being with a woman. I'm not saying it's the only part, but that's what separates guys hanging out with a woman compared to hanging out with a guy. You can do everything you do with your woman, with your guy friends, except for intimacy. So what would be the difference dating a woman that's not going to be intimate with you until marriage than hanging out with your guy friends? I mean, come on. I mean, this is just my opinion. And the majority of people out there that are reasonable and listen, I'm a God-loving man, and so was my father, and so is my family. And I believe in God, right? But these people, like the Bible bumpers, the ones that live by the Bible as the letter of the law, in 2021, I'm sorry. Like, I call those people like Jesus freaks, right? And I don't want to date those types of people. Look, I'm not perfect and no one's perfect, right? And just because the Bible that was written centuries ago, long time ago, says, thou shalt not, have relations with a man or a woman until, marriage or something. Come on, folks. But hey, to each his own. I'm not here, once again, to tell people what to do. I'm here to help people get what they want. But people need to be honest and open up front about these things. And now 5 women in the last, less than 3 months I've encountered through online dating that think they have a chance with me or most guys by withdrawing intimacy until marriage. Come on. If we can't test drive the car before we decide to buy it, we're just not going to buy the car. We're just not going to buy the car without test driving it, right? Holly says, this is my opinion also. A lot of people don't have sex until marriage. It's their choice, just like yours is to have it on the first date or whatever. Holly, I appreciate what you're saying there, but 99+% of the people don't live by that. They don't. I'm just surprised I've come across 5 women that feel that way. Oh, well, it is what it is. Let's get back to the Reddit posting. Today we're talking about why women reject overly nice men and do nice guys actually finish last. And that's what this poster was talking about here on Reddit. So let's continue. I totally get where you're coming from. As a 27-year-old male, I went most of my 20s with this mindset. I thought this was the same way. I think most guys are because we're young. We're young, dumb, and full of the C word, right? Let's not get demonetized, okay? Looking back to when I was 20, 21, and I'd be chatting to a girl. He must be from another country. It's with a girl. And I would compliment her any chance I got. I literally cringe at the thought of that now. I know. I can't even believe how much of a beta male I was. How much of a sissy I was. I mean, wow. I had no self-respect at that point. It was all about whatever it would take to get the woman, right? Let's see. It wasn't until I properly started going on dates when I was 25. That's about when it started changing for me. About 2 dates that I really started to notice I was putting so much effort into pleasing them and just leaving it up to them, what they wanted, that I wasn't being nice to myself. Right. You had no self-respect, like I just said. This is perfect. As a guy now, I 100% understand why it's a total turnoff. It is so patronizing. It is patronizing to the woman that it puts women on a pedestal, and I'd imagine not many girls would want that. Women are getting a lot of attention. They're getting this from so many guys. That's why it's annoying to them, right? Why not be the one guy that stands out and it's just cool and laid back, right? And is not trying to force anything or be something he's not, right? Be yourself. I even find girls who come across as too sweet and innocent a turnoff. I kind of do too. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't want them to be too sweet and too innocent nowadays because they are liberated and they are empowered and they are independent. But you also don't want them to be the complete opposite, which is extremely masculine and dominant and controlling, right? Give me a second here. Give me 1 second here, please. Just got to check something real quick. All right. I like it when they have a slight attitude because it's easier to wind them up and be so sarcastic in a lighthearted way. Oh, I love that too. I'll call them out, put them back in their place, right? Figuratively speaking, okay? It's just a figure of speech. It's basically when they're acting like that, if you put them in their place, like, in a loving yet dominant and caring way, they get turned on by that because you're being a man about it. That's being genuine. But it's not about being a dickhead in any sense. I agree. It's just about being considerate of your own wants and needs as well as the other person and not being overly complimentary or being too agreeable. I still struggle with it at times, but it is a all learning process. But overall, I completely get what you mean. Still makes me want to vomit looking back at it. I mean, I look back on myself in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, my first 2 relationships, and I'm like, man, if I only knew back then what I know now. Wow. Yeah, it was pretty pathetic, right? I own it. But you learn from it, right? I lost my first love because of it, and I cringed so hard at it all. Yep. I know, total cringeworthy. I'm just glad I'm not at that stage anymore. Same here. Oh, boy. Respect for the introspect. Okay. All right. I think it can come across as clingy or excessive. I agree. This is by a woman, Penny Cat. And I can definitely relate to having it be a turnoff. I just had an experience where I matched with a guy and he complimented me quite a bit. I didn't think of it as anything at all. Sorry, as anything at first, I mean. I just thought he was being nice. He asked for my number and I didn't really mind giving it to him. Okay. We switched over to texting, hoping that eventually we would set up a date. That's when it became excessive. Yeah, he overly pursued you. He overly texted you. He was trying to basically get you so turned on by him that he could just, win you over, and you call him up and say, hey, big boy, come on over right now. I'm waiting for you, right? This was a game. He was calling me all these pet names and essentially treating me like I was his girlfriend, even though we had never met. He was trying to turn you on. He was trying to basically manipulate you into trying to get you to invite him over, or for you to come over to his place so he can have sex with you. This is manipulation right here. This is horrible. I felt so uncomfortable with it. I don't blame you, ma'am. I cringed every time he did all this. Yeah, I would too. I told him this was not normal dating behavior, that I was okay with and would appreciate it if he dialed it down and got his ego hurt, and I haven't heard from him since because you're not an easy lay, ma'am. Some guys are looking for an easy lay, and that's how they play their cards with all women, right? This guy, I don't think this guy was deliberately being overly nice. Well, no, he was. So I don't think he was being overly nice, being unaware like the other guys. I think this guy deliberately was trying to manipulate you to try to get in your pants, man. Overall, I did not have a good gut feeling about him, and he couldn't even respect the boundaries that I had put in place. So really that was never going to work out. Everyone's preferences are different, though. Ma'am, you're not understanding. He didn't want a relationship or get to know you. He wanted to just get some action. Most women, ma'am, would have figured that out. I'm surprised you're one of the few that's not intuitive enough to have figured out that he was trying to get in your pants. Yeah, it feels weird and unnatural. Yep. That's because it's not actually nice. It's putting someone on a pedestal, and it's often done by people who are either wearing rose-colored glasses or love bombing. That's true. Well, a lot of these guys, when they just want to get some action, they will love bomb you and tell you what you want to hear. And they don't care about getting rejected because with some women, this works to get a one-night stand. With other women, they just feel weird and it doesn't go anywhere, right? So these types of guys are just playing the numbers, right? He's like, okay, I tried to, push it forward with her to get in her pants. It didn't work. I'll just go to the next number I have. That's all it is. The reason it makes people uncomfortable is because it's not realistic and you don't know what they're going to be like once it wears off. I don't want someone who acts like I can do no wrong because I have flaws, and I want someone who can accept rather than someone who is under some illusion I'm perfect or pretending they think I am. And look at how these women are reacting. It all boils down to the same thing, right? It all boils down to the same thing. These women are just tired of these guys not being authentic. And it's not that these guys are intentionally trying to not be authentic. It's that these guys just don't get that being overly nice and overly complimentary is basically putting her on a pedestal and devaluing yourself at the same time. When you're talking with a woman, it has to be a free-flowing, two-way, back-and-forth conversation. And here's the thing. Like, if I'm with a woman and we're together and we're dating, like with my ex, Dana, we didn't always agree on everything. We agreed on a lot. But when we didn't agree on stuff, I would call her out. and we'd have a conversation about it. We'd go back and forth. We didn't argue, but we'd go back and forth. She would challenge me, and I'd challenge her, right? And after going back and forth a little bit, sometimes Dana would say, you know what, babe, you want to just make out? That sounds like a good idea. It's better than this conversation we're having, babe, right? That's all it is, right? And sometimes that's happening because women are testing to see how strong of a man you are. They want to feel your strength. That turns them on, right? If you're just, being overly nice and love bombing them and this and that, that's very inauthentic. I've been on the guy's side of this before without realizing it. It is absolutely putting them on a pedestal and not acknowledging their flaws and not treating them like a real person. Women know they have flaws. They know you have flaws. It's not about having flaws. No one's perfect. It's just about, being open and honest and accepting of each other's flaws when they become apparent. When you're dating someone after a while, you're going to start seeing each other's flaws. And if you've connected at an emotional level, and you're at a point where you're in love and you care about each other, when those flaws start coming out, you can call your lady out in a playful way and say, oh, babe, I had no idea that blah, 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 right? And then make a joke out of it and say, I'm just kidding, babe. Let's just keep on enjoying our day together, right? It's how you approach it, right? It's how you approach it. Let me see. In one particular case, I just fell super hard for this older girl and was basically love bombing her without meaning to or harboring any ill intentions. She was probably really hot, man. Listen, we've all been there in our younger days. She was coming out of a relationship where the guy treated her as less than, and I was taking it to the other extreme. You were trying to make up for his shortcomings, right? Because again, she's probably very, very sexy. And you probably don't get a lot of attention from women that are as sexy as her, dude. It set the whole relationship up in a really unhealthy way and obviously didn't work out. Of course, because you overvalued her, bro. You overvalued her and you undervalued yourself. That's what happened. In my case, this was just about my inexperience and my being it should be me being overwhelmed by my feelings for her, resulting in some really thick rose-colored glasses. Well, yeah. Dude, at least you're owning it now. And I respect that. This is spot on. Either way, it generally ends up not working out. That's true. That is true. Let me check out the chat real quick. Let's check out Facebook. Nothing happening on Facebook. D Live is clear. Let's go back over to YouTube. Holly Hopeland Bless says, this is my opinion. Also, a lot of people don't have sex until marriage. Oh, I think I already read that earlier. Okay, we're good. We're good. Let's continue here. I think it's also a fucking boring conversation. I agree. You don't want to bore your woman. Absolutely not. Give me a second here. Huh. Interesting. My phone keeps going off with options. Lots of options. I think it's also an effing boring conversation. Feels super one-sided. Disagreeing playfully with potential partners can lead to a much more stimulating discussion where you actually end up learning about someone and making out and having great sex too. Keeping on praise is easy and shows no depth. It's like people who can only talk about work. Shudder. Listen, no two people are perfect. We all have our flaws. And women are emotional beings. They're going to respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment, right? So women are bound to do something that you as a guy have an opportunity to call them out on, right? And when women do those types of things, wherever you're at with that woman, you could be on a hiking trail, you could be out to dinner, you could be at her place, your place, right? When those moments happen, she's looking at you to see how you're going to handle those moments. And she's looking to see if you're going to display strength or weakness. Are you going to call her out, but be supportive at the same time? Or, are you going to say, oh, that's okay, right? Like for me, I'll say, look, if I feel that something that my woman is doing is ridiculous, I'll say, babe, you're being ridiculous. I already told you I took care of this, and you're still trying to take care of something I took care of. That's my responsibility and not yours. You call her out, right? But you also better be right about what's happening, right? In that case, the woman will look at you and say, you know what, you're right. I really need to stop freaking out, don't I? Yeah, babe, let's just have a good time. Forget about that stuff, right? I got your back. Look, don't worry about it. Be a man about it. You're having a real conversation here, right? In that case, if you responded differently than I just did for example purposes, and you said, oh, what's wrong, babe? What can I do to make it feel better, right? Instead of understanding what she's going through and saying, you're being ridiculous. I took care of it, babe. Don't worry about it. Let's have a good time. Life is short, right? Yeah, you're right, babe. You're being a man. She's feeling your strength. Now she's like, she feels comfortable. She feels appreciated. She feels heard. Pretty simple. So simple, most guys screw it up. Keeping on praise is easy and shows no depth. It's like people who can only talk about work. Shudder. Yeah. If you only talk about work, that's going to turn me off. I don't mind if I'm dating someone and we're intimate and we're in a relationship and all that. I don't mind talking about her work whenever or my work. But early on, before we meet, like if we're talking by an app or phone or on a first date and we haven't been intimate yet, like I'm not really open to talking about other stuff like work and stuff until after intimacy has happened. You know why? And this is why I say after intimacy has happened, because once a woman is intimate with you as a man and you're intimate with her, it means you're now invested. You're either invested or it's a one-night stand. And if you're looking for a relationship and so is she, once you're intimate, you're both invested. So now I know she's into me. We've been intimate. It's good. We're going to keep moving forward. Now, let's talk about whatever, right? I think when things are as Op described, Op, I figured out by looking it up, its original poster, described here, you're definitely right. That's the case. But to address the other side of the more general question in the title, I also think there is an unfortunate overcorrection to this in a lot of people. In situations not as extreme as the original poster described, such that being nice even in reasonable levels ends up a bit of a turnoff when it probably shouldn't. And that's not true. If you're genuinely being nice or genuinely responding, that's fine. It's when you're trying so hard to please her by being overly nice, thinking that that's the only way you're going to get her. You're not being yourself, and she's picking up on it. And it's pretty pathetic and sad, in my opinion. I think this might, you're leaving that word. I think this might be the thing that makes it feel funny enough or confusing enough to original poster to bring up. Makes sense to me. I think you people are a lot younger and inexperienced, but I that's why I'm reviewing this, because I understand all this stuff. I've been through it, and I've also learned how to overcome it. It is tough to draw any sort of line because overly nice could really mean anything. No, it means overly nice. It means that you're being too nice. It means that you're trying hard to get something that you feel you don't deserve, right? If you feel you deserve that woman, then you'll just be yourself. And if she feels the same way about you, it'll just work out. If it doesn't work out, it wasn't meant to be, and move on and find someone else that deserves you and you deserve, right? But if it were always just a reasonable response to the guy putting her on a pedestal or love bombing type stuff, this question probably wouldn't be up. I suspect it is the case that sometimes it is that, and other times it feels like a turn off because of that association, even when that doesn't really fit. And that's what makes this feel weird to the original poster. That's a run-on sentence, too long, but I get what you're saying. I have nothing to add to that. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? I'm going to have to do a review on this app. Wow. Give me a second here. Man. All right, there may be a new app in town that, if you're looking for something real, is better than Match. Times change, folks. Times change. I'm never going to run out of content, I'll tell you that. There's so much to talk about regarding all this, and it constantly changes, folks. And I'm experiencing these changes, and I'm going to share these changes with you so you folks don't have to deal with what I've dealt with, right? That's part of the value. That's the main value of following my coaching stuff. Let me finish up with this paragraph here. I'll check out the chats and take one more break and come back for a third and final segment. There's a lot to go over here. I'm going to have to do this through multiple shows. I may come back for a late night show tonight to do part 2. Basically, a lot of people have become so jaded by false compliments, or so afraid that they might mean way more than they do, because in other cases they have, that they subconsciously respond negatively to real, reasonable ones, or assume someone telling the person they like a few things that they like about them must, you know what, I'm going to stop reading this. This person here, is this a man or a woman? Reach out loud. I'm assuming this is a man. Dude, you sound like a highly introverted dude that's using run-on sentences, and some of what you said initially made sense, but now you're just like going on and on and on and on. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. Well, let me read the last line and see what he says there. People aren't perfect and do end up with real, weird, subconscious associations when it comes, and you're missing words, to dating, relationships, and even just self-esteem. Something fairly similar happens with compliments in non-dating context too. Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that. Check the chat here real quick. I'll read one more before I go on the second break. Stop reading long novels. Well, if they're valuable, Queen, to myself and my audience, I'll read them. But when they end up getting ridiculous, and that person is just, going on and on and on about something that really has no value to the topic or the posting, then, I'm going to cut it off as soon as I notice it. All right, we're good. Let's continue here before we take the next break. The tough part is that a decent amount of women are triggered by basic nice behavior, not overly nice behavior. That's what I've been saying. Look, you have to be a good guy. Being a nice guy is what women want, a nice guy. But it's not in the way that it sounds, right? being a nice guy doesn't mean you have to be an overly compliant type of guy. Okay? The stigma nowadays of the word nice guy or the phrase nice guy, in other words, it means more than just being nice. It means overly compliant, right? That's why I say good guy instead of nice guy, right? You want to be a nice, good guy that respects yourself first and then respects your lady in the same way she respects you. You're each other's equals. You don't put her on a pedestal. She's no better than you, but you're no better than her. You're two down-to-earth, decent people in a relationship because you bonded and you get along, you're attracted to each other, and you enjoy each other's company. Pretty plain and simple. Example, if you just show straight up common courtesy and interest and intentness to the other person, it can also be a turnoff since a lot of women I know want men to show a little more of their masculine aggressive side. Right. Like I do. Listen, I am a nice guy. But I'm more of a good guy. I treat women. There's no guy out there that treats women like I do. That's how confident I am in myself. I take women on nice weekend getaway trips. I spend good money on it, right? I drive. I pay for the gas. I pay for pretty much everything most of the time because I want to. That's what makes me feel like a man, right? So I am a nice guy. Nice guys do those things, right? But when I'm hanging around her, I'm not doing those things because I'm trying to get something from her, right? Number one, I'm not going to take a woman away on a weekend getaway until we've actually gotten something from each other, figuratively speaking or literally, right? And I know we're together, right? So I'm not taking a woman away to try to get something from her. I'm taking her away because I enjoy, number one, going away independent of her, and I'd rather share something I enjoy doing for myself with someone else that enjoys a similar thing. That's having common ground and common interest. There it is. If you show straight up common courtesy and interest and intentness to the other person, it can also be a turnoff since a lot of women I know want men to show a little more of their masculine aggressive side. There's nothing wrong with having common interest and all that stuff as long as you're masculine about it. You actually more so want a woman that enjoys similar things you do. Doesn't have to be 100%, but you want a woman that I like a woman that wants to go hiking. If a woman despises hiking, I don't care if everything else is perfect. It's not going to work. I love hiking, and I love hiking with a woman for many reasons. So that's one of my deal breakers. I'm talking basic things like holding the door open, listening intently, saying thank you. Nothing wrong with all of that as long as you don't overdo it, as long as it's just natural. Whenever I'd go out with my ex Dana, I would always open the door for her at the restaurant and in the car. And she appreciated that. But I wasn't kissing her ass. I did that because I respected her as she respected me. I did that because she was a good woman. And it was just all natural. Nothing wrong with doing these things if they're natural and they're not overdone, right? Listening intently, saying thank you, verbal affirmations. These are basic things you do with meeting anyone, but for some reason, when it is meeting women, they get put off. It all depends in the context, in the right context, at the right time, and not overdone. Nothing wrong with doing any of these things. It's just how often you do it and what's the context, right? Are you being authentic, or are you just trying to do whatever it takes to get the woman because you feel being yourself can't get her, right? The exact cause of this, I don't know, but I feel as if it goes beyond just, I can't trust his intentions. Well, if you're not being a real man and being yourself, a woman's not going to be able to trust you, right? If she can pick up that you're you're trying to get her by doing certain things, like saying overly nice things all the time, she's not going to trust you in any other way. She's just not going to feel comfortable and safe with you. Here's a good example. I was on a date a while ago, and the conversation was very friendly. I wasn't trying to hold back being forward and really focusing on the girl and what she had to say. I noticed I was pulling her chair out, saying thank you, agreeing with her on a lot of things, which I actually agreed on, but I could tell, despite the fact that we got along, that she wasn't really feeling it. I was also being very polite to the bartender, while other patrons were giving them shit teasing. Okay? I noticed this girl started talking to guys next to us and diverting her attention away from. It's like their confident behavior was attractive to her, and AKA giving the bartender shit. Well, that's how women are nowadays. Women are very assertive and independent, right? And to a certain extent, that's cool. So if a woman is that strong, do you think being overly nice and compliant is going to get a woman like that? A woman like that will stop will stop you with her own 2 feet. A woman like that will stop you with her own 2 feet, literally. So bartender gives me a drink, and I realize it's the wrong one. I then flag him down, state that I'd like the right drink, and then give him shit I knew him about it. Suddenly the girl I am with starts touching me, etc., because she's feeling how masculine you are. You're being a man. You're not being a sissy. You're having fun. You're giving your friend shit. You knew the bartender, right? So you're giving him shit. She's feeling your confidence, right? You're having a good time. You're being you, right? That's weird, because why would you be turned off by basic politeness, LOL? This is a young woman that doesn't get it. I'm not even going to respond to that. Reach Out Loud says, simple. People associate niceness with being a pushover or being manipulative or putting them on a pedestal, because it sometimes can be. It usually is, because when 97% of the men in this world are beta males, that's the majority of the types of men women are encountering. So they assume all men are like that until proven otherwise, right? That's why when I talk to women nowadays, I have to take what the beta males, which are 97% of the men in this world, do into consideration, right? I have to take them into consideration, right? And be different, right? The beta bonds, beta bonds, beta bonds, beta bonds, beta bonds, right, Queen? In the chat? Let's see here. But did I read that? I can't remember where I left off here. But some people subconsciously take that association too far and end up feeling like even reasonable levels of niceness imply those things, even in cases where they don't. That's true. There is no clear line for too nice where it suddenly stops being a polite person and starts being some sort of put her on a pedestal thing. So people kind of judge it randomly. And some people draw the line earlier than they probably should, others later than they should, because they don't identify it yet, or they haven't experienced enough of it yet. Like once a woman and a man experience this with 2, 3, or 4 other people, it becomes a pattern that they recognize quicker and they eliminate it quicker. It's just some people haven't had enough experience in handling this yet, but eventually they'll get it and they'll remove it much quicker in the future. Women aren't perfect. That's true by far. So the men aren't perfect either. As many of these comments mention, and not everything they sense in the guy is always 100% correct. Some women and men get turned off by things for totally backwards reasons, essentially overcorrecting for fears of these pushover, manipulator, pedestal issues many have brought up even in cases when those things aren't happening. Well, those people have other unresolved issues that need to work on outside of this. It's not always just this, but this is something that's very typical. I don't know what to say. Some women just are and be turned off. I literally mean they are turned off by a guy who is polite, even normal polite. Some women are turned off by the most normal, confident guy that does everything right. Sometimes you can do everything right, and that woman is in such a terrible state within herself for whatever reason that's just not meant to be. If you encounter a woman like that, chalk it up to she's just not the right one. It's not you, it's her, and move on. Don't try. Don't waste your time. I think it's in the same vein as women thinking this guy must be after something other than just being polite, because they've been through that. They've experienced that through so many other guys with the betas that sometimes these women completely shut down for a while, right? And if you encounter a woman during that time where she's like closed off dating men for a while, trying to, figure herself out and get back on track, you have to pick up on that and move on. She's just not in the right place, and it's not the right time, right? Because in the past, guys who were polite had, it's ulterior, not ulterior. Is this guy from another country? Give me a second here. Sorry, it was spelled correctly. Ulterior. My mistake. You have to be polite, but also assert your masculinity. That way they think, well, at least he is honest, and they respect you. They might challenge you a bit, but trust me, you keep the masculinity thing going in a loving, caring, and dominant, playful way, and she'll never leave you. And you'll get more sex than you can even handle because you'll be turning her on. Sounds like young me's experience. Women would think I was into them because I was just basically nice to everybody. Then at work, everyone thought I was gay for years because I didn't sleep with drunk coworkers on a couple occasions. It's weird out there. Okay. All right. Well, that last comment, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. You're just sharing the story. But anyway, that nails it. Okay, the previous comment was deleted, so I don't know what that was being responded to. All right, I'm going to step away, take one more quick break, and come back for a third and final segment. We have Critical Mass blog in the house. Alpha Mike checking in. Alpha Reborn Mike. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Queen says hello, Critical Mass. Mass says most men are betas. Yes. Mass says hello. Holly Hopeful and Bless says hello at Critical Mass. And Mass says hello, Holly. All right. Let's go ahead and queue up some royalty-free YouTube music. I'm going to go back to full screen. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Okay. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Okie dokie dokie dokie. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away probably for an 8-10 minute break. When we return, we're going to go another maybe 30 to 45 minutes and continue with this Reddit forum in the comments section where we're basically discussing why women reject overly nice men. So stick around, we'll be right in Mass, and anyone else here? Holly, Lewis, beautiful background, huh? Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So the background today, which I will, let me turn off the chat here for a second. This is Santorini, right by the Aegean Sea, which is near Greece. That's why you see, a Greek feel here. It's beautiful. I love the tree and just love the view. This is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. What do you folks think? You like the background today? All right, let's turn it on the chat. And Queen says, nice background. Thank you, Queen. I like to change it up, right? So it doesn't get boring and stale, right, Queen Helen Casey? All right, let's get right back to it. Yeah, I feel great today. All right. Welcome back to the third and final segment of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on the Coach Eli television network, primarily broadcasting live here on YouTube. That's my main space. And also simulcasting live on Facebook and D Live. Glad you can all join me here today on this Wednesday, or if you're watching the replay, whenever you're watching it, there's lots of great value here. Feel free to leave your comments, on the replay in the comments section. I will respond to you if you're not here chatting live while the show's live. The topic today is why women reject overly nice men, and do nice guys actually finish last? One more time. Why women reject overly nice men, and do nice guys actually finish last? Been talking about it throughout the entire show. I shared my thoughts about it and some experiences during the first part and the second part of the show. So go back and check out the replay if you missed any of those parts. And I've also been going over this Reddit posting made by a 24-year-old woman that is severely turned off and annoyed by overly nice men or overly nice guys, and I don't blame her for that, because it's very inauthentic, right? Very inauthentic. And I may end up doing a part 2, 3, and 4 to this. Maybe I'll go through the entire comment section over a bunch of streams, unless something else comes up and I shift gears. So we'll just kind of play that by ear. We'll see how it goes. All right. This is not the King's music, says Critical Mass, royalty free. I understand that, but you got to do what you got to do. Like, all my videos on YouTube are monetized. I haven't had a yellow icon. I mean, I get plenty of yellow icons while I'm live, and I submit them for manual review, and they all get reviewed and overturned because the system makes mistakes. Lots of them, right? And interestingly enough, one of my videos was under review for like almost a week, and I had some other ones that happened after that that were reviewed quicker and overturned to green, right? Fully monetized. Finally, that one that was under review as not suitable for most advertisers, was under review for like almost a week, it got approved. So, I want to keep my good standing with YouTube and set the example for others that may be struggling to maintain a good track record with YouTube and the YouTube Partner Program. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Let's get right back to this and go another half hour or so till I run out of gas and energy. Well, that's not going to happen, but I want to save some energy for other people. Yeah, my phone is going off today with lots of connections and lots of options. Oh, wow. Okay. When you throw a lot of, fishing poles into the water, you're bound to catch something, right? If you don't try and try and try and try again, you're never going to get anywhere, right? So keep trying. Don't give up. Okie dokie. Let's switch back over to the browser source. Queen says the system sucks. Okay, Queen, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it, right? Because the behavior is obnoxious, because it is a red flag, he'll idolize you, and have ridiculous expectations of you. That's not what it is. He's enamored by your looks, and he thinks he's going to be able to beat out the competition that he has, because you're talking to many other guys. He's trying to lock you down. And he's trying to do it in the way, thinking that he's going to be different than any other guy by being nice to you, but that's not the right way to do it. Because he's not letting you have a pleasant, natural conversation with him. Right. That's what women want. They want a pleasant, natural conversation. Women also, like I've been saying all along, and we talked about earlier on the show, women want you to call them out when they make a mistake. They don't want you to agree with them or appease their mistakes. They want you to say, hey, look, babe, that's ridiculous. You screwed up, babe, huh? Right? Yeah, I screwed up, babe. Are you being mean to me? No, babe. No. Babe, you're human, right? Right? Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. Just because I'm a man doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, right? We both make mistakes, right, babe? Oh, you're right, babe. I'm so sorry. No need to apologize, babe. Shit happens, right? That's being a man. She's being ridiculous. And that's because that's how women are at times when they're emotional, right? And they know that. And they're testing you without even realizing it to see how you're going to handle it, right? I'm a dude, but I've noticed this behavior from other guys. It's a false front. And they're trying to hide their flaws and think flattery and acting like a doormat will get them brownie points. It makes them look spineless and weak as well. I'll throw in pathetic, absolutely pathetic. It's true. I could not have said it better myself. I've been saying that for the entire show. I've made the same mistake in the past, killed what little interest that some women had in me. Well, here's the thing. You don't focus on women that have a low level of interest to begin with doing everything right. You focus on the women that show you a high level of interest from the beginning. And then you just don't screw it up and see where it goes, right? That is true. And we can read through the bullshit, and this is why we don't like it. When they're genuinely nice, have manners, and can lead a good, interesting conversation, then it changes, okay? It is off-putting because we feel that they don't really have a personality and just want to fuck you. That I've been saying that all along. I got to give you, Spicy Taquito, you're a female, it's a female avatar there. I'm going to give you a big round of applause. That's what it is. They're thinking that by being overly nice to you, that you'll see them as different than any other guy. And they're going to open up their legs for you because of that. And the thing these guys don't understand is that most guys try to do it that way, which is why it more so turns women off. If you're the one guy that stands out, like myself, and you're just cool and calm, and you're not fazed by her beauty, and you're just yourself, you're the one she's going to open up the legs for, not the other guys that are overly nice. That's pathetic. I love that word. Let's see. And many of us learned that through experience when we were younger or through other girls' shitty experiences with nice guys. Right. Women talk about this stuff. And when 97% of the men, like I've always been saying, are beta bonds, beta bonds, beta bonds, beta bonds, beta bonds, right? Beta bonds. Because there are so many of you doing the same thing. Like, women can spot this a mile away after they deal with it a few times, 2, 3, or 4 times, right? Then it's like second nature to them. Then they all talk about it because they all go through it because of the 97% of the guys out there that are beta mods. That's it. I keep saying we just need to fix the beta mods and everything's good, right? A friend of mine who I've been on a date with before explained it quite well to me. I'm a guy, by the way. Be nice, but fuck me. Exactly. Right? Right? As a guy, you want a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets, right? Same thing that the lady wants from you in return. She wants you to be a good, respectable type of guy. Respectable type of guy, right? But when you close the door and you're laying in bed, she wants you to ram the living hell out of her, make her orgasm and make her feel good, right? Because that's just the way it is. That's that animal instinct within us guys. And women have it too, but more so men, right? And women want to feel that, right? That's when they know you're really into them, when you have that animal desire to want them, right? So you just have to find that balance. That's the right balance. Be nice, but fuck me. Right. Right. And when I say nice, be a good guy. Don't be overly nice. Just be a decent human being. But rock my world in the bedroom. I think it needs to be genuine. I agree. Everything in moderation. I agree. I think you can smell the BS coming out of their mouths. If I compliment someone, I want it to be genuine and come from a place of admiration. Genuine compliments are constructive, and false compliments can lead you astray. And they're just annoying, too. Okay. There's also a fine line between too nice and a pushover, and being a pushover is unattractive. Well, right. If you come across a woman that wants to control you, you withdraw immediately. Eject, Robinson. Eject. 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 Right? Guys, you have to also know when to eject, even if you're doing all the right things, right? It just may not be the right woman. Even if she's attracted to you, she may be the type of woman that wants to be controlling and have things her way. You want to be with a woman that's going to be your equal. That's not going to try to one-up you all the time, right? Because it's fake, right? It's not genuine. It feels like they are only doing it because they think you'll like it enough to give them sex. Another one. Second time I've seen that, and I've been saying that all along. That's what these guys are trying to do when they're overly nice. They're trying to use that as a way to allow the woman to feel comfortable and trust them so they can open up their legs for them. It doesn't work that way, guys. Sorry. Exactly. Most likely, the men doing this to original poster are far from genuine and are not being their true selves. They are rather being needy. They're being weak, needy, desperate, and insecure. Let's add all that in there because they do not want to mess up what they have with you because they see the woman as very attractive and they want to get in their pants. And they think being overly nice is going to weed out all the other guys that are not so nice. Hence, neediness, which is the number one turnoff for women. Well, I'd say that's at the top. I wouldn't say neediness is number one, maybe number two or three. I think the number one turnoff for a woman is a weak man that behaves more feminine than masculine. Weakness is the number one turnoff for a woman. So it's weakness, neediness, desperation, and insecurities, right? Well, weakness, and then I'll go with insecurities. Women do not like insecure men. Why? Because they're not acting masculine. They're acting more feminine when they're insecure. A secure man is not going to be fazed by anything that anyone does to them, especially a woman. A compliment here and there is great if it's genuine. Compliments, however often you want to give them, as long as they're genuine and real, they're great. There's no right or wrong number. Just don't overdo it or underdo it. Just be normal. And, act accordingly, react accordingly to the situation at hand. Coming from a guy that has had major struggles with women since my last breakup, I think me being nice just comes down to the constant failure I've had meeting and connecting with a woman over the last almost 3 years, that I'm out of ideas. Well, sir, you're giving up on yourself. That's practically your problem. I figure if I'm nice and polite, I don't push any type of sexual conversation that they may see, that maybe they'll see I'm not just after a piece and I'll maybe score a drink, date or something, you're looking at it the wrong way, dude. I used to look at that. I used to look at it that way in my younger days. And women were different back then. Nowadays, women like they are today will look at you as a really nice guy, and they'll friend zone you, right? So you want to be a good guy. You want to be nice and polite, but you don't want to be overly nice to the point of where you're sitting there worried about her thinking that you're after one thing, and you want to be overly nice so she doesn't think you want that. Listen, all men and women want sex, and all men and women both know the other side wants sex, right? Women know that you want sex from them, and they want sex from you if the chemistry is there, the connection is there. It's a known thing. It's a biological thing. Unless you're one of these 5 women I've talked to over the last 3 months that are reborn virgins or critical mass that's in the same boat. God bless you, bro. It's your opinion. That's right. It's your decision. I mean, your choice. Unless you're a reborn Christian or a reborn virgin and you're waiting for marriage to have intimacy, everybody wants sex. So why worry about whether the woman thinks you want it or not? You should want it, and she should want it too. But you shouldn't have to focus on it. You just hang out, you have fun, and let nature take its course. Just be natural. If you're going way out of your way to do things that are going to give the woman an idea that you're not looking at her, to have just sex with her, then, dude, you're not going to come up and give her the vibe that's going to make her want to be that way with you. Unfortunately, this strategy has friend zoned me so many times that I honestly don't even know how to interact with a woman anymore. These are the kind of guys I want to help. Dude, I'm not surprised with what you said that you get. I even said that before I read the bottom part. Friend zone. I'm not sure if I just pull out the sex talk and be flirty so I can make it clear that I'm not after a new friend and I'm after a love interest. No, when you're getting to know a woman, you're direct. You're like, yeah, you seem pretty cool. I'd love to get to know you. Right? What do you like to do for fun? Right? Right? And you see how she reacts because listen, first there has to be a physical attraction. If you're having a conversation, just physical attraction, if she's attracted to you and you're attracted to her, right? Then all you have to do from there is have just a conversation and let nature take its course, right? Just keep talking with her, get to know her. I enjoy hiking. You enjoy hiking? Hey, let's go on a hike sometime. It'd be cool to hike with someone besides myself for once. Or I'd rather hike with a sexy woman like you with a great personality than hike with my guy friends. I think that it'd be a lot more fun to be around with you, right? Be a little flirty, dude. What's the worst you can say is no, but if she's talking with you and she's attracted to you, she'll say, yeah, I love hiking. Okay, when do you want to go hiking? Here's my number. Give me a call tonight, right? Or ask her for her number. That's it. Simple. Coming from a guy that has had major struggles with women since my last breakup. Oh, no, I already read that. Sorry. Let me see. Oh, no, I remember where I left off now. And I'm after a love interest. I just have no idea how to go about it anymore to the point that I don't even try. Well, dude, if you don't even try, you're not going to get anywhere. Dude, have some balls, bro. Look in the mirror and love what you see. Love yourself. I'm happy with myself and I love myself in a non-selfish way, in a selfless way. And that radiates off to people, including women. It's that simple, dude. Just be you. Flirty is fine, but don't pull out the sexy talk because that's just creepy unless both of you just want to hook up. No, if you're getting along, you can flirt around and make a joke. This is the kind of joke I would say with a woman, right? Like I would flip it on her and make her laugh, right? Like if let's say I'm on a first date with a woman or second date, right? Like in the past, this is what's happened with some other women I've dated, right? Um, I'll say something like, "You having a good time? Having a great time. Wow. I mean, I would love to see you again. You seem like a great guy. I'm really, feeling this, right?" And I would say something, "Okay, that's fine, but don't think that you're getting in my pants tonight, right?" So I'll flip it around and say something fun and flirty like that to her. I'll say, "That's cool. I feel the same way about you. I really would love to get to know you, but don't think for a second you're getting in my pants tonight because I really want to get to know you, right?" Right? And it's gonna give her a reaction like she'll start laughing, right? If she takes your joke and she's a cool, normal woman, she'll start laughing. She's like, "That's pretty funny." And she might say, "Oh, you think I'm trying to get in your pants? Oh, I know you want to get in my pants. But I think we should do it when the time is right, right? Be confident about it, right? I like you for more than that, right? Right? You see, when you are as confident as that and you're playful and funny and you have the balls to say something that most other guys wouldn't, she's going to respect you for that, right? You see what I'm saying? You see what the difference is? Make clear what your intentions are. I agree. Ask the girl on the date, pay for the bill, etc. Don't put girls on a pedestal because that's unattractive. And don't just agree with everything they say because they will think you don't have a personality. Be authentic and genuine. Guys, specifically guys, don't need to be conventionally attractive to get a girlfriend. That is true to a certain extent. In the modern world, it's kind of changed a bit because women are very picky on looks. But not all women are like that. Most of them are, but not all of them are. And every woman has their own type. So if one is not attracted to you, another one probably will be. Don't give up. Talk to many women, use dating sites, approach many women, and at some point you're going to come across the one. It'll just happen. I'm going to read a few more and then I'm going to go off the air. We are at 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yes, I'm a born-again Christian, Eli. Yeah, no, we've talked about it many times. I'm just, we were talking about it again. I encountered a fifth woman today through online dating, bro, that mentioned, she's looking to have a family. She's 42 years old. She's looking to have a family, even at her age. And she wants to be with a good Christian guy. And whenever they mention good Christian guy, I'm like, okay, this is another reborn virgin waiting for marriage. And I asked this woman, and like I mentioned earlier on in the show, I shared the conversation with her that happened while I was on my first break. She said, yes, that I am. And I am waiting for marriage. I'm glad you brought it up and you asked because it's not a time waster. I'm like, okay. Never responded to her. I won't. She hasn't blocked me. But yeah, it's your own choice. I respect that. It's just not for me and most other people. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in, folks. I'm going off the air in about 5 or 10 minutes. Dinner dates are the worst. I've done it before. It can feel like forced conversation. He put conversion, but it was a misspell. Conversation, especially because I am more introverted. Well, that's part of the issue. The introverts, are more of the shyer type of people that don't like to talk. Women like to talk, whether they're introverted or not. Introverted men don't like to talk much at all. And that's going to affect you with your dating life. And if you want help to become less introverted and be more open and outgoing, I can help you with that. I need less formal situations to be more myself. You're a shy guy that's not outgoing, right? And you don't like to really socialize. Dude, those are all the biggest turnoffs to any woman. Maybe a walk, a drink date, stuff like that. The last dinner date I went on, though, was a complete train wreck. Because, dude, you have no self-confidence and no self-respect. I didn't say dinner dates can be anything, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Although I'd say getting lunch, drinks, or dinner would be better, though, because then it's clear you're pursuing something more. That's based on my experience and my friends' experience, though. When it is a first date, don't ask women on walks. We are too afraid that the guy would do something to us. I go on plenty of walks with women during the day in places with lots of other people. It depends. You got to get a good feeling for each other. If you're meeting online, you got to have a few phone conversations and just get a good feeling for each other, right? Typically, dinner on a first date is not something I do. I used to do that in the past. I'm not saying I'm opposed to doing it again, but it would depend on the woman. Some women, like my ex Dana, was so into me and made it so apparent that she had a level 10 attraction for me at that time. Like, it didn't matter what we did. It was just going to work, right? So I typically don't want to invest the time and money on a dinner with a woman until her and I meet one time briefly for an hour, whether it's a walk, whether it's in a supermarket parking lot, or wherever. A brief meeting just to see if the chemistry is there. Once the chemistry is there, the sky's the limit, right? Yeah, it sucks that this world is so toxic that women need to protect themselves to that extent. This has nothing to do with this topic. And this looks like a guy saying this. That's pathetic. I actually had that conversation not too long ago with a friend. I'm 34, and the things I did even as a kid, 10 years old, just taking off with my friends on our bikes. I don't know if I'd even feel comfortable letting my kids do that these days. All you ever hear about is kids getting kidnapped and shit. Nothing feels safe anymore. It's sad. Well, depends where you live, etc. It kind of sounds like you're projecting there, dude, in my opinion. Like your post really wasn't directly responding to the topic there. Let's move forward. Just a few more here before we go off the air. That's a lie. Women swipe left on most men. You have to be attracted to even get a girl's attention. Or even if you're a decent average-looking guy like myself, I get enough attention, right? Because I take care of myself. I'm not GQ, but I'm not ugly either. And I'm in shape, right? And for my age, I take care of myself. But yeah, if you're a very overweight, unhealthy looking guy, doesn't take care of himself, you're going to get swiped left on all the time. Most women on dating apps are incredibly shallow. Well, so are guys. It's guys and gals. Yes, it's more apparent, by women. Yes, you're right about that. The reason why it's more apparent, that women are shallow is because 97% of the men are thirsty beta males. So think about that, right? In addition, lots of men openly admit that they swipe right on all women, hoping one would too. Many others leave dates when their date doesn't look as cute as they expected. That's called catfishing. You want to be honest about your profile pictures. While usually women endure the date and give the guy a chance. Yeah, typically most women will not walk out on the date. I've had it happen a couple times. But typically it doesn't happen. Even as a guy, if you're not feeling it. For me, honestly, I'm so good at weeding out women. I'll ask them if they don't have the best pictures, I'll ask them to send me a current picture or something, right? Or I'll find out. I will find out one way or another if they're lying about their looks or not. And I have not been catfished. I have not been catfished in over 10 years. But I have also lowered my standards a lot. So, I'm no longer just looking for the perfect skinny supermodel woman. I'm open to a thicker woman. I'm open to women of all shapes and sizes, as long as they have a great personality. I provided you with stats to prove what I said. You just made something up with no proof, irrelevant comment. Okay, that's a woman just whining there. Last one. Well, a couple more here. I won't take the time to do research for an internet stranger. If you are ugly with a bad personality, don't blame it on women. No, that's your problem. You can fix your looks by getting in shape, wearing better clothing, showering, shaving, doing other things, right? You can. If you have a bad personality, you're just a shitty person to be around. You got to change that attitude. That's simple to fix. Just stop being a shitty person. Based on your few comments and you calling women shallow, I can imagine you would be a great guy to date. Laughing my ass off. This spicy taquito chick's been commenting on everything. Dating apps, I think you meant to say dating apps aren't the only way to get to know people. Question mark. Also, dating apps are based on pictures. Some of them are, some of them have a profile. So it is pictures and it's profile. To me, it's both. It's both. I'm not looking for the perfect supermodel woman, but I'm looking for a reasonably cute woman that's in reasonably decent shape, that looks healthy, and is looking for the same thing I'm looking for. Something committed in long term. It's not a big surprise that people are more shallow there. And to be honest, guys' Tinder profiles usually suck. Just take a look at the Tinder group. There are guys that are attractive with unflattering pictures, effortless bios, etc. We usually take a look at every single detail before swiping right, not only the pictures. Most guys don't. I do. Because I'm not looking for a hookup. Most guys are just looking for a hookup. If you're looking for something real and genuine, you read the damn profile. It's the bottom line. If not, then it's like a Russian roulette thing with what you're going to get. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it. We are at 2 hours and 29 minutes, about to turn to 2 hours and 30 minutes right now, 2.5 hours. Let me check and see if or any comments anywhere else. Nope. All right, we're good, folks. I'm going to take the rest of the day off and relax. I have a bunch of other calls to make tonight and things to do. But I'll be back tomorrow. Critical Mass. I will be reaching out to you soon, hopefully sometime this week, and we'll get something going. If anyone else wants to reach out to me, go in the description of the YouTube video or the Facebook video and find my email, Coach Eli at coacheli@eliasmelas.com. That's Coach Eli at coacheli@eliasmelas.com. Email me if you want to reach out, collaborate if you have a topic request, or for any reason you want to reach out to me. Go ahead and do it, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Critical Mass Blog, Queen Helen Casey, Holly Hopeful and Blessed earlier, Lewis Fuller, and anyone else watching that was not, chatting in the chat. Have yourselves a great day. I'll see you all. Whoa, wait a minute. I forgot to switch to the main screen. I always do that. Not always, but most of the time when I'm reading a forum posting and about to wrap it up. But anyway, we're back to full screen. Have yourselves a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Bye.